Hello students, good morning everybody. We have seen first chapter of module 1 cyber security. Now we are dealing with the second chapter of cyber security, module 1, that is network security. Network security in the sense security matters a lot in the network environment. Network environment in the sense internet in the sense email, then Facebook, then messenger. Their security matters a lot, like username and password, or something like your online transaction. If you're doing online transaction on banking, then username and password matters a lot. Online banking also. So there are a lot of hackers on the internet, and today, in today's world, anyone can become a hacker. Anyone can access the information from anyone else from elsewhere. Okay, so that's why we need to study cyber security, network security. Reason is that we should be aware of the hackers. So the better way, I would suggest that you should not have outside network. You should have completely you should not have completely outside network. You should have closed network. But the reason is that in case of closed network, the problem arises something like you might notice that in lab, if someone have pen drive with lot of virus and he inserted the pen drive, the PC is not connected to the internet. Remember that in lab, PC is not connected to the internet, and someone student have pen drive and he want to take the notes from the server, and he insert the pen drive in the server, and unnecessary the server goes down. So it creates a lot of problems. It creates a lot of problems. Or otherwise, in the sense, if firewall is not set, that means if network security is not there, then it may happen that some student may change the IP address. Some student may change the IP address of the machine. You might be studied IP address in the case of OSI model, network layer, and also, okay. So in that we have studied what is the IP address. When PC is getting connected to the internet, then it is called IP address, internet protocol address. So it might happen that someone may change the IP address. So these things are happening when you have closed network. Another example is that some people may access your login. Some student may access your login. So it may happen in the closed network, because you will be telling that see what is the program I have done. Then other student will see what you have run the program, or he might be doing some mischief, that changing the code of your program, that it should not work again, and again it will create problem. So these things are happening in the closed network. So there should be open network. So so there should be large open network. But since if there is a large open network, then there is possibility of hackers is more, okay, which can download your application, which can change your code of the program and this thing, okay. Like if in closed network, if some student is well known of the network, and he may in exam period, at the time of exam, he may copy programs from another logins to his login. These things are happening in the BCS lab if there is a closed network, means it is the network which is not connected to the internet. So to avoid such type of things which harmful the network, we are going to study network security. Okay. Need of network security: types of attack, active and passive attack, distributed active attack, insider attack, close-in attack, hijack attack, snoof attack, and buffer overflow. Now, network security. Why we are studying network security? Because we want to protect our system from hacker. Just now I told you, vulnerabilities in the software, means your software might be having some problems. You might be knowing that in case of Windows 98, there was not the case of username and password. And again, the XP operating system came of Windows, which was having username and password. But Windows 98 was not having username and password. So it was not, operating system was not beneficial for network environment. It was beneficial only for the desktop environment. Closed network, just I told you in closed network what things can happen. Then open network security threats, network misuse in enterprise without network. Just I told you in enterprise, in the sense, if I'm having a pen drive and the pen drive carry a lot of virus and I insert it in the server and it may harm the server. Okay, or your friend, if you know he is the IP address, if your friend, anybody from else in your class knows the admin password, so it may possible that he may disturb the network, and it may be closed network. Then open network security threats and an advisory to protest or resist or oppose to the network. Now, closed network, just I told you, closed network means the network which is not connected to the internet. And I to give you an example, in exam period, student tries to copy the program from one login to another login, another login to another login, and these things can possible in closed network because there is no firewall is not there. Okay, some rules and regulations are not there, and if there is a protocols or network, then it may not happen. This thing may not happen seriously. Okay, it may happen, but few. But if a closed network is there and is not connected to internet, then these things may happen many. Open network security threats we are going to see, and adversary to protest or resist the threats. Now, cryptography. Cryptography in the sense, cryptography characters in readable format, ciphertext characters in non-readable format. The process of converting plain text to ciphertext is called encryption. Encryption types symmetric key cryptography and asymmetric key cryptography. Now we will see cryptography. Cryptography in the sense, at the type of typing your password is not visible to anybody else. Yes, while typing the password is not visible to anybody else. But by typing the username, it is visible to everyone. So username is your plain text and ciphertext, your password is the ciphertext. So remember that plain text means it is human readable and ciphertext means it is not human readable. The process of converting from readable text to unreadable text format, that is called encryption. So encryption, there are two types: symmetric key cryptography and asymmetric key cryptography. Why this technique is used? This technique is used to protect from hackers. Here your message is there, and this is one security in the sense encryption. Encryption means converting plain text to ciphertext. Encryption means converting, the process of converting plain text to ciphertext or encryption, and reverse, the process of converting ciphertext to plain text is called decryption. Here your message is there, that means it is by using this encryption technique, your message is converted into ciphertext and it is sent. This is the case of email. This is the case of email, how email works on your system, because your email message is not visible to anybody else, and anyone cannot access anybody email, because the message is converted into ciphertext and using encryption technique, and it is sent in the network, third party. You need to trust the third party, and then again when it is arrived at the receiver side, again it is converted from ciphertext to plain text and it is readable to the person. So yes can read the R message. Sorry, yes message can be readable to R only when they are secured. Only when it should be when they are secured. So in that case, yes first encrypt the message, and then after encrypting, then it send the message, and the receiver side R decrypt the message and then read the original message. So in this manner, network should flow, then there will be less chances of hacking or threat. Now, types of attack. We will see types of attack. Up till now, we have seen this is cryptography. In that, plain text is converted into cheaper text, and reverse at the receiver side, cheaper text is converted to plain text. So, types of attack. Attack meaning gaining access of data by unauthorized access. Gaining means accessing data and destroying the data. Now, there are two characteristics of attack: active attack and passive attack. So, we will see distributed attack. Distributed attack in the sense, in distributed attack, basically there is a server, and his server is having limited capacity. Limited capacity in the sense it can't process more certain bandwidth. Means server can process at a time 10,000 requests, and at a time it can access some bandwidth, and it can process at a time 10,000 requests, and then not more than that, and it can support only 10,000 users at a time. So what will happen if the server can't process the data more than 10,000 users? Suddenly hackers will tell server to access 20,000 users. So suddenly hacker will tell that this server is undergoing 10,000 users at a time. So they will try to access 20,000 users at a time. So in that case, the server may go down. And in the sense, if your server goes down at the time of admission system, then people will start migrating to different organizations, different colleges for admission, because our college server has got down. So this thing can happen in the case of distributed attack. This is nothing but the denial of service attack, distributed denial of service attack. So in that case, it increases the overload on the server. And since the latest attack of Twitter was receiving 2.3 terabyte of bits per second, it was coming from 10 billion devices, webcam, smartphone, and network devices. What is the advantage of doing that? I will take a money from website and promise that it will do later on, website goes down. So in that case, if your server goes down, your website goes down, and if your website goes down, then your whole network collapse. And since your whole network collapse, we need to manage this thing. So we need to manage the server. If your server is supporting 10,000 users, then buy another server. In that case, it can bear 20,000 server. Buy another servers, it can bear more than 40,000 users. Okay, so if this server fail, another server should be active. So these are the thing in denial of service attack, and depending on traffic, these things are happening. Now next is insider attack. Insider attack in the sense, it denies access to other authorized user, use information is in fraudulent manner, creating harm someone by code or virus to listen secretly other people. You might have seen in what was happened in Cosmos Bank. In Cosmos Bank, there was some users, there was some employees who were known of each and everything in the bank, like important details of financial details and this thing. So in that case, what will happen? If someone from the organization knows each and everything, he may misuse it. And that was done in this bank, and that was the problem. That was a fraud done of what I don't know, but the fraud was like 80 lakhs and this thing, above 80 lakhs and this. So it may happen because the person which is from the organization, which knows each and everything from the organization, and he may misuse his rights or his or power in the organization, and to disturb the organization and to hack the organization. So these are the insider attack. Now we will see hijack. Hijack in the sense release of message content. Someone is sending message to someone, and there is a hacker the user is thinking that the other is talking, but the talking is the hacker. This is the person. This is the person who is sending message to her and thinking that she is talking, but it is nothing but the hacker is talking, and hacker is gaining the access of his network and trying to misguide him and want to know his bank details and this thing. For that purpose, he is doing that. In that sense, hijack attack. In this attack, hackers over session hacker attack the session between you and another individual. You can enter login of Facebook with username and password. When you today or tomorrow you open it, you don't need to re-enter password, because due to cookies file where username and password are stored. Since you open the Facebook account while talking to your friend, and that username and password are there in your history, cookies, and next time when you try to open that account, you get directly get login to the Facebook, and that your username and password file may be stolen by the hacker. So that is all about the hijack attack. So it is very dangerous. Phishing attack in the sense you receive email from bank or trusted company, and it is asking for information. It look real, but it is trying to fool you, gaining important information. Means something you will get a mail that I am from this bank, and that bank is your trusted bank, and it is trying to information from they want some personal information from you for something purpose. And if you give your personal information to that, you click on that link, then this scam is called phishing, and you need to avoid it. Most of us business online, you have to you have an account with sensitive information. The risk of doing business online is now, unless you deal with organization you trust, problem occurs, criminal organization focal you. Okay, so hanging sensitive information can lead to big problem. Like it is seen that you get a fraud mail, that man is sending a mail and to a monitor. It seems that a fraud mail may come to you, and I am from this bank, and I want some information about you, and please enter your information details like username and password. And if they get your username and password, then nothing is left. Everything will be gone from your account and this thing. So be careful with the fraud mail, and remember that in case of fraud mail, the spelling mistakes are there, and in case of original message, spelling mistakes are not there. Also, I told you in my previous lecture that what is HTTP and what is HTTPS. HTTP means not secured website, and HTTPS means secured website. So be careful about the websites and this thing when you are getting the fraud mail and dumb mail. Okay, and the hanging sensitive information, card number, password, pin. The key to avoid the scam: awareness. You receive email look like trusted email from bank. If you click link verifying information, you click link thinking that it is bank website, it will print scam incomplete and you handed password. But remember that you should not click on such fraud email, because they try to access your account and bank details, and they try to fraud it. So be careful while clicking on something link that they want some personal information and this thing. And this is possible due to social engineering also. Be careful about the social engineering, where you may get you may ask for bank details and this thing. Okay, now snoof attack in the sense something you might be knowing, like our network is having some IP address. Our network is having some IP address, like from 190 to 168 and this thing. Okay, in lab you are having a network and you are having IP address from 10 to 20 range. So what hackers will do, they will they will take the laptop and they will come in our lab, and they will think that only 10 to 20 network is there. So what they will do, in between 18 or 16 number PC, they will shut down and they will get their IP address of 18 and 16 number to their laptop, and they will flow in the network. They will access different devices in the network, and they will try to steal on the network. That means original IP address PC they will shut down, and that IP address they will using it to stop the network, and it may happen at the time of exam also. So be careful about the soup attack. What it does, it captures the IP address, and the original machine will be shut down, and hackers will be using that IP address. Okay, now we have buffer overflow. Buffer overflow in the sense, something like, now you might be knowing that while accessing YouTube, some line is coming before your YouTube is coming. Before your YouTube is coming, some line is coming, and unless and until that line is complete, your YouTube don't start. You might be seen in the buffer overflow, like something when you open, when ad is coming, then again that white line is coming, and then that YouTube is started, and then white line is coming, that YouTube is started. That means unless and until that line comes, your YouTube doesn't start. So that is called buffer overflow. So in that case, if you try to open, if your capacity of browser opening, is 4 tab at a time, and if you open 20 tab at a time, then your system get hangs. Your system get hangs. Same case, if you try to open a YouTube which is not which want more memory, and it is not available because your line is not pushing towards, is not moving. So in that case, this may happen that your system may hang, and this thing happens. So that is the case of buffer overflow. Means when you watch the YouTube, the lines come and then your YouTube start. So if I upload a one YouTube in which the line is not coming, the line is standing still, and then due to which my YouTube is not working properly, and due to it my system goes hang, and these things happen. So that is example of buffer overflow. So now up till now we have completed this, and next part we will see again types of attacks and these things.